Hello, this is Tom from the future. Please pardon the poor audio. I'm actually getting ready to go on vacation. Later in this video, there is gonna be some major spoilers for House of the Dragon, probably season 4 stuff. If that's not your jam, maybe give this one a skip. Sorry about that. If that is your jam, maybe consider subscribing if you like this kind of nonsense. I don't know, whatever. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Welcome to the Bizarro Universe Interesting Nerd Club.
Hey Zach, I wanted to mention this. I
Yes.
um I watched Doctor Sleep last night.
Ooh, Doctor Sleep.
Have you
I've not
seen this
watched it
movie
yet.
yet?
No, I remember. Uh, I was dating somebody who would like religiously read novels when it came out, and she was a big Stephen King fan. So she like was reading through it and saying like, "I like this, but hate this," and it seemed like it was a real mixed bag. So I know the book is weird and interesting.
Yeah.
But I presume the movie is similar.
Doctor Sleep is the direct Stephen King written sequel to The Shining, and the movie is the direct sequel to Kubrick's Shining movie. And it's extremely good. I loved it basically every second. It was scary and awful. I enjoyed it much more than I enjoy The Shining. In The Shining, the only character who is enjoyable to watch is well, that's not fair. The only characters who are enjoyable to watch are Jack Nicholson and who plays Halloran. Is that Carruthers? Scatman Carruthers? Am I remembering this correctly? Is that the
I'm
name of
not
an
sure.
actor?
Hold on.
I went to the file marked Shining, and that name is in there.
Scamming Carruthers is a person and an actor and musician
Did he play Dick
who
Halloran?
was Dick Halloran in The Shining. Wow.
Did I? Yeah, let's go.
From downtown.
Let's go. I'd like to thank the Dead Meat podcast for incepting that into my brain probably 18 months ago. Uh, uh, Jack and Dick are the only two characters who are enjoyable to watch in The Shining. Like, Shelley Duvall is great, and her performance is fantastic, but it's like really unpleasant to watch her on screen because like
Yes.
her character is so tortured. And Danny, Danny's Danny. He's kind of I might describe him as an audience surrogate, right? He doesn't do much or say much. He just acts creepy and looks around and stuff.
He's there. He's there to be bothered by the
Yeah,
things that are going on around him.
yeah. He's
Much like
their
you,
he's their
the
version
audience.
of Arya Hota. He's there so the audience can be uncomfortable. But in Doctor Sleep, Ewan McGregor of Star Wars fame and also some other stuff, I bet. He plays a grown-up Danny Torrance, who has a drinking problem like his dad did, um, and has been suppressing his powers for a very long time. And there is a very interesting and colorful and enjoyable to watch cast of villains. I did say that correctly. Cast of villains.
Nice.
That really does feel out of a Stephen King novel, right? They're like this, like I might almost describe them as like, oh god, if they weren't so disgusting, I might describe them as goofy. Kind of like um did you ever read dang it, what the heck is the one with the pawn shop and Mr. Gaunt and he sells things to people? Help me.
No, I don't think so.
Needful Things.
Needful things. No.
um they remind me of Mr. Gaunt, who is scary and awful, but is also like 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 an over the top like early 20th century movie villain, like horror villain, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like almost Dracula style. And these characters are like that, and they are very fun to watch until they're literally killing children. Uh,
Needful things is also the name of a store that there's a very similar plot in one of the best episodes of Rick and Morty back when that show had good episodes.
Yeah, Mr. Needful.
So,
Yes.
something wicked this way comes.
Yeah.
The one where they beat up the devil playing
Yeah.
gonna give it to you.
Zach, I have great news for you. If you like that, that episode is literally the plot of Needful Things.
Those Needful Things have DMX in it.
I don't know that I can say that with confidence, but how will we know unless we check? It has a possessed tabletop game.
That sounds fun.
Does that help?
Yeah. Yes.
Zach, how long have we been recording? Okay, perfect. We can fucking swear now.
I have a why for you.
All right. I am really excited. Do we have anything? Do we have any housekeeping? I don't know. Let's just do it.
We do still have that nerd poll in the description.
What are we doing that? Oh, can we do that from the airport, or are we planning on
that
streaming?
That would be a good one to do from the airport. However, then we're only going to record one video in the airport, so we need to try and record like 2 videos before it, and then see if we still have time.
You're right. I don't. All right. Let's do this. Let's get the quote out, and then I'm gonna check my itinerary to see exactly how long my layover is.
Yes. Okay. So this is a why, which is how the show usually works. Even watched before is I have a theory, and I give Tom all the pieces of evidence, and then he tries to guess the theory. Well, I give him one piece of evidence, and when he just starts talking about a Song of Ice and Fire, he finds more. And then once he gets the theory, I explain the theory to him. But a why, I don't have the theory fully formalized yet. I have some things that are weird and interesting in A Song of Ice and Fire that I want to talk about. And today, I'm going to give you this starting quote.
Perfect.
This is where you're wrong. Lord Tywin would not have bothered with the search. He would have burned that town and every living creature in it. Men, boys, babes.
With the search. Men, boys, even babes in arms?
Babes at breast. Noble knights and holy septons. Pigs and whores. Rats and rebels.
Noble knights.
He would have burned them all.
Septons.
You can do it. You can do a ... He would have burned them all.
I think that is reasonable, and I think I know what. Okay, continue. Is there anything after that?
No, that's pretty much it.
I think I know when this is from.
When is this from?
I think that this is from a Jaime chapter in A Feast for Crows. When Jaime's talking to his aunt. No, okay, all right. When is this from?
And here's why. And here's where we're getting into why this is a why. This is John Connington remembering a quote from Myles Toyne, also known as Blackheart.
Oh my god, dude! I read these chapters yesterday.
How convenient.
Yeah, I don't think that's a joke. I've actually been forming some John Con theories the last couple days.
I was already working on this when we found out from a Gardic phone stream that Jake Abe's favorite character is John Connington. Kind of bummed he's not online at the moment, because I would love to have him pop in and talk about this one. But I don't know, maybe we'll bring him for when you actually have a John Con theory, because this is John Con adjacent, but it's not about John Con.
Okay, perfect. By the way, I just confirmed. I will be in an airport from 9:33 p.m. until 7:54 a.m.
Okay, cool. We're recording that video.
Tom wonders if he'll be bothering other people in the airport at 4 o'clock in the morning. Tom wonders if he cares.
If they're in an airport at 4 a.m., they made some decisions in life. You also made some decisions in life.
Yeah, we're all in similar weird boats. I'll just invite them on to come and play. It'll be great.
Yeah. I did join a live stream from a subway station. So if somebody came up and bothered me, there's nothing we could do to edit it out. And
Yeah,
I don't know if the suburban rail train I was taking bled through. So somebody might know where I live.
Zach, by the way, I've been meaning to. Oh no.
You've been meaning to what? Dox me?
No, I don't know if I can do that joke. I was gonna say I've been meaning to invite you to my suburban rail train, but I decided I wasn't sure about that one.
Oh, that's too funny.
Zach, we're back.
We're back after your computer crashed.
The last thing that got recorded was the suburban rail line joke.
That's great because it was me laughing if at it in there or no?
I don't know. I think that it cut during your laugh after the delivery.
That's good. That's good. Okay.
Okay. So let's talk about these guys.
Yeah. So here's kind of where my why is.
Yeah.
Myles Toyne has presumably spent his entire life in Essos, in the disputed lands, nowhere particularly close to the Westerlands, probably only getting his news of Westeros from, traveling merchants and all that, who usually have a very brief and not super detailed version of the news. How does he have a entirely correct picture of Tywin Lannister? Unless, his reputation was really that widespread. But also, there's some other interesting blips in the Toyne family history that imply there might still be some connection back on the mainland.
Interesting. Very interesting, actually.
Yeah. It could just be that, the Golden Company has really good, merchants who give them very detailed news. Maybe Myles Toyne has friends on the mainland, and maybe those are the friends in the Reach. Who knows? Or maybe there's something interesting going on with House Toyne, which there's some evidence towards.
Okay, here's something. This is referring to the Battle of the Bells, right?
Yes.
Now, here's an interesting thing. The first thing that this brings to my mind is that this could be a time travel scar.
Huh.
Yeah. Saying that things would have gone much differently if Rhaegar had gone ahead with the search, like Tywin. If he hadn't gone ahead with the search, rather, like Tywin would have done, and importantly, like Rhaegar's father would have done. I'm sorry, not Rhaegar, Jon Con. I don't think Rhaegar was at the Battle of the Bells.
Yeah. Yes. But Rhaegar's father, we literally would have burned them all.
Correct.
That's a quote.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's weird that particular line is in there. Hang on, let me give it one of these. It's interesting, and it has to be significant that the line "burn them all" is here, because this is not something that Targaryens say. This is not something that people say. This is the thing Aerys said.
This is the Mad King's
Yes.
catchphrase. So this is where some of my interest comes from. And do you remember any other prominent Toynes in the story?
I remember the name Terrence Toyne, but I don't know where it's from.
That's a Fire and Blood one, so I'll give you a ding there.
There's an argument to be made that I have read Fire and Blood and the World of Ice and Fire more than any of the books.
It's technically, it's mentioned in A World of Ice and Fire and then mentioned several times in the other books. I don't think it's actually in Fire and Blood because Fire and Blood ends too early. But whenever we get the sequel to Fire and Blood, we'll get a lot of Terrence Toyne. It's A World of Ice and Fire where we know, I think, largely his story from, which is that he was... I'll give you something to put down. Terrence Toyne was found abed with Bethany Bracken.
Oh.
Aegon the Unworthy had Terrence dismembered piece by piece.
Aegon the Fourth had Terrence dismembered. piece by piece. Zach, if you want to do a sequel to the membership theory, you can just say so. There doesn't need to be this,
It's this whole Y format.
Yeah, he was
I
found.
should note there's another part. There's another part to that which might be better as a separate piece of evidence.
Okay, how about give me one of these? No, give me one of these. Let's see, what do we got in here? It's been a while since we've used another font.
Yeah.
How about this one?
Sure, that one's not quite readable, but yeah.
So that, how dare you? So that it looks like it's sort of written on a chalkboard wall.
Good. Yes.
Couldn't be better.
We're
experimenting here today.
Another piece of evidence here that is right afterwards that I feel like gives you more things to talk about and makes this more interesting. Sir Terrance's brothers attempted to avenge him, they were the ones who killed Aemon the Dragon Knight. So
what?
I do believe so.
Attempted to avenge him by killing Prince Aemon?
They were going to go kill Aegon the Unworthy.
Okay. So what happened?
And then I believe that the Dragon Knight defended him and died in the process. Yes. He died honorably defending his brother and king against the assassination attempt by the two brothers of House Toyne. Is how the A Song of Ice and Fire wiki writes it. The brothers Toyne were Terrance's brothers who came to get revenge for his horrible execution.
So wait, it's the brothers Toyne and not Terrance's brothers? Because Terrance's brothers could mean brothers of the Kingsguard.
It says they're brothers of Terrance Toyne. I don't know exactly how it's written in the World of Ice and Fire.
Interesting. Because I remember this passage, and I definitely read it as when they said Sir Terrance's brothers, I thought that meant the brothers of the Kingsguard. But if it's ambiguous,
it says there were two members of House Toyne. I mean, I guess multiple. How many Kettle Blacks are on the Kingsguard right now?
That's true.
Okay.
Sir Terrance's brothers attempted to avenge him by killing Aegon IV. Aegon was defended by Aemon the Dragon Knight, who died in the process.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. And this, according to the wiki and presumably the World of Ice and Fire, was the downfall of House Toyne. So this house had its downfall right before the Blackfyre rebellions really started up, like a decent number of years before. So I thought that was very interesting.
And we do know that about Myles Toyne, that his family was old Blackfyre supporters.
Yes. There's another famous Toyne in the story.
Okay.
And this is where things get really interesting. Do you know who it is?
I don't think that I do.
Barristan thinks of him.
Okay.
I'll give it to you. Simon Toyne was the leader of the Kingswood Brotherhood.
Oh. Huh. So House Toyne really has been present in and around the Blackfyre rebellions since the general.
Yeah, and in general causing some sort of nuisance for the kingdom, because the Kingswood Brotherhood is fairly recent. Jaime was there for the breakup of the Kingswood Brotherhood.
Interesting.
So, how is it a family that got ousted before the fell into obscurity before the Blackfyre rebellions, went to join the Golden Company, and support the first Blackfyre rebellion, which was 100 years ago at this point. Have somebody who is still there causing trouble throughout the reign of Aerys II, and have a really like almost perfect beat on internal Westerosi politics from across the Narrow Sea and the disputed lands, when it's not especially relevant to them. Although you could say that since a lot of them are Westerosi exiles, maybe they keep up with it. It just all paints an interesting picture of what the hell is going on with House Toyne.
Huh. It is odd, isn't it?
Yes.
Now this is a fun I have some things to add to this, actually.
Go for it.
Because like I said, I was just rereading Dance just in the last couple of days, and I was just doing these chapters.
Yes.
And I took a couple of notes that I think you will find interesting. Yes. This might be from either the same chapter or one of the chapters around. John Conn says he looked around and saw many people with bastard names like flowers. Others claimed names that had won some that had oh no, I must have mistyped here, that had loomed large in the history of the Seven Kingdoms. Griff counted, quote, 2 Strongs, 3 Peaks, a Mud, a Mandrake, a Lothston, a pair of Coles. Cole. This is very strange, Zach.
Yeah.
That first off, it's very strange that we were thinking about these things at the same time. That's number one. Had we waited another week to do this, I might have had an answer. It's strange that there are players from the history of the Seven Kingdoms surrounding the Targaryen dynasty showing up in Young Griff's story.
Yes. And like there's clearly a lot of people who would have been exiled who probably took wives from Essos and then passed their claims on to their children and their children. But one, it's weird that they're all still there. Like they didn't die out or give up, or somebody didn't say, you know, why am I carrying on the angst of my great grandfather who I never met because, my dad kind of half-heartedly carried it on. Like the Golden Company has been doing Essos stuff since what? At least we don't know if the Golden Company took part in the War in the Stepstones, the War of the Nine Penny Kings. That's not something that we have outright confirmation, I don't believe. I can look it up.
Yeah, I think we do. I think that Myles the Monstrous was like a... Yeah, yes, Myles the Monstrous was a general in the Golden Company. So even if the entire company didn't come, many of the supporters came, for sure.
Then that's where let's see. Hold on.
Oh yeah, because one of the gilded skulls they have in the Golden Company camp is Myles the Monstrous's tiny one.
Yes. That's right. He did lead the Golden Company during the War of the Nine Penny Kings. So that was the last. That makes sense. He led as much of the Golden Company was left after he violently took power of it as the last Blackfyre, twisting the head of Daemon Blackfyre until it tore from his shoulders, and then he leads the last push of them in 258 is the year, 258, which is what 42 years before where we're at in the story right now.
Yep.
Now, granted, what John Conn's remembering here is probably over a decade ago, if not longer.
Yeah.
So Myles Toyne might have been around for that, but it's hard to tell what age he would have been during the War of the Nine Penny Kings, and whether he would have fought or not.
Even if he wasn't present, which doesn't seem likely, he would have heard the stories for sure.
Yes.
let me list these names again here, because it's weird that all in this chapter we the audience are hearing about a lot of people that we have been told are extinct.
Yes.
That are just like that we have heard stories about, and they're just here. Two Strongs. Of course, we know the Strongs. We've been led to assume that the Strongs
The Strongs have been dead since before the dance. The last ones died out with the Clubfoot didn't have any kids.
Yeah, Laris would take issue with you saying that they died out before the dance.
Okay, all of them that weren't Larry died out before the dance, and then he got Cregan Stark later.
Yeah, he did get Cregan. Spoilers. Do I have to cut that?
We don't know if that's going to happen in the show because we haven't met Cregan in the show.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna put at the beginning a disclaimer that says this one has spoilers for House of the Dragon. I gotta edit it anyway because my computer tried to remove its own circuit board. We got 3 peaks. I remember some peaks: Osmond Peak, Gormond Peak. I don't remember what their story or allegiance is.
I can look up House Peak. That sounds familiar to me. It's one that is like definitely died out.
But the Mudds, I know that the Mudds are gone. There was this whole business that Kristen Cole was wearing a Mudd standard, I think, at some point. I don't know. It's hard to remember. We have a Mandrake, which I don't recognize right off the top of my head. But then a Lothston, which is another of the Harrenhal lords, which Brienne carries the sigil of, right?
Yeah.
That's the one with the bats. That is Catelyn's maternal grandmother's house or something.
The Wentz.
Oh, the Wentz. Did the Wentz fight the Lothstons? Who are the Lothstons?
I think the Lothstons fought the Wentz. The Wentz are the bats. The Peaks had the Peak uprising during the reign of King Maekar, and I believe, they were the ones who led to the death of Maekar Targaryen, which led to the whole succession problem that happened afterwards, where we get Aegon the Unlikely, and I believe the Peaks were wiped out categorically during that battle, except for the Peaks who stuck with the Blackfyres, presumably, because Gorman Peak, known as Gormy, apparently, which is quite a nickname, fought with the Blackfyres and was part of the Mystery Knight story, where he tries to get Daemon the Second in power. Interesting. Weird, even.
Right, this is very strange.
And that was actually no. He died well before, because the House Peak Rebellion happens later when Aegon's an adult and not a kid running around with Dunk. So he was already dead because he got sent to the wall.
And of course, let us not forget the most significant.
He didn't make it to the wall. He died in the Riverlands.
Oh, bullshit. Who is this?
Gorman Peak.
Gorman Peak died in the river. No one's ever dead. Everyone in this story is alive. And then, of course, we have perhaps the most notable entry on this list, given that he might be mentioned in the same book. A pair of Coles. A pair of Coles. Notable for their relationship with Kristen Cole. To Kristen Cole, I should say.
Yes.
Which is really very odd that they are mentioned here.
Yeah, the Coles, House Cole. Are we aware of members that are like?
No, I don't believe we literally ever meet any other
historical members. Are a steward of Lord Dondarrion, a Kristen Cole,
and Kristen Cole himself,
and Will and Dick Cole,
Yeah.
the ones we see serving with the Golden Company.
Yeah, these two fucking Coles.
Now, it says the men of the free companies can take any name they want, is mentioned.
They did say that. They do say that in the chapter.
What? No, so either these people have some sort of connection they're claiming, like I can, claim some sort of connection to probably like some amount of royalty in different like parts of Europe where I have ancestry, but you'd have to squint really hard and make some guesses.
Mm-hmm.
Or they full up know they're not related to Kristen Cole and they are cosplaying as Coles.
Either of which I find interesting.
Yes.
So Zach,
either
what
they have determined like
go ahead.
It's either they've squinted and determined like, oh look, I am the like third cousin 8 times removed of Kristen Cole, or they don't know that and they're just like, yeah, he's cool and I want to wear his flag.
So Zach, you want to explain to me what the fuck all these Strongs and Peaks and Lostons and Coles and fucking Toynes? You want to tell me what these people are all doing in the same place? All of these rebels in the same place?
That's the interesting thing was I thought, what if he's not a Toyne, right? Or what if he is a Toyne and he moved over a lot more recently than we think? Because it says, it led to the downfall of House Toyne. It clearly did not lead to the extinction of House Toyne.
Because even on the Wiki of Ice and Fire, it says that it says that House Lothston is extinct.
Yes.
Which is wrong.
Yeah, there's some alive right now.
Yeah, there's a Lothston right there. There's a couple of Coles right there. There's a Toyne right there. What?
House Toyne says it was a house, but like Myles Toyne, yeah, he's dead. We see his skull covered in gold, but he was alive very recently. 296 is when the wiki claims that he's dead. 4 years before where we're at in the story right now. If he had any amount of kids, they're still alive, unless they predeceased him.
Huh. Duncan and Dennis Strong, and Sir Robert Strong, a Knight of the Kingsguard.
Who we have reason to believe is not as strong. Yes. Yeah. So the Toynes
here.
There's Simon, who, the two brothers died well before the Blackfyre Rebellion, like a couple of years before the Blackfyre Rebellion, because Aegon the Unworthy is still notably alive, and the Blackfyre Rebellion didn't take place until a couple of years after he died, if I'm not mistaken, or at least like a full year after he died.
Yeah.
That was one of the mistakes the Blackfyres made, was not immediately pressing their claim when it was still, hot, right? Mm-hmm. And Simon Toyne is around recently enough that Jaime Lannister met him.
Jaime Lannister met Simon Toyne. Of course he did.
Yes,
because he fought in the Kingswood Brotherhood.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Wait, what?
Barristan Selmy killed Simon Toyne.
Huh.
What were these Toynes who had lost their king? They had lost their castle. They lost their rights to their land. They had their downfall. They fought with the Blackfyres. What were they doing just hanging around?
It could just be sort of thematic, right? Because we have the 6th Blackfyre Rebellion is coming. And
yes.
the generally understood position of everyone in Westeros is that it's over and the problem is done.
Yes.
And discussed in one of the Duncan Egg novellas is the nature of like correctness from a political perspective. Sir Eustace says, if we had won, you would have been the rebels and traitors.
History is written by the victor. Yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
So
Uh,
maybe this could be
the
thematic and
legitimacy of
just
the Blackfyres would have been hammered into the heads of the common folk and the royals for decades had Daemon Blackfyre won the rebellion, and they would have treated that entire Targaryen branch run right now as illegitimate bastards.
so this could just be thematic, saying that those holdouts are like spider web, like capillary threaded all through the Seven Kingdoms. And they haven't gone away. But I would find that an unsatisfying answer if it was just a thematic connection.
Yeah, there's something very curious going on with the Golden Company, and Myles Toyne has a history of his family being in and out of out of Westerosi politics, but still in Westeros. Simon Toyne, noted outlaw who led the one of the most famous Robin Hood-esque bands of criminals ever in history of Westeros, and then we have him with surgically accurate take on Tywin. When from what we've seen in other parts of Essos, they don't fully understand the context of major political events that are going on in Westeros. Now that could just be that he's got a Westerosi lineage, so he understands it better. But that doesn't feel like a satisfying answer to me either, right?
What are you suggesting that the Kingswood Brotherhood was that are we suggesting that all or most of the Kingswood Brotherhood is somehow connected to the Golden Company?
It wouldn't be that shocking, honestly, but I can't quite make the leap there, right? We don't know much about members of the Kingswood Brotherhood, except for we know Simon Toyne was a mystery knight who jousted at a tournament at one point, we believe. Barristan's memories are old and shaky. We know that Ulmer is still alive and hangs out at the wall. And we know a tiny bit of details about the others. Wenda the White Fawn branded her trademark on Merritt Frey. We only we're told the Kingswood Brotherhood was put to the death besides Ulmer, but we don't know that for sure because we only know about Simon Toyne dying. That's the only one we have a hard confirmation. Barristan Selmy killed Simon Toyne. The others could have gotten away and lived non-criminal lives, which is what we speculate happened to Wenda the White Fawn. We believe that she's that lady with the lamp who leads Arya along in that one chapter. Are
there any famous Blackfyre archers?
Not that I'm aware of, because Ulmer is old, and which would hide his potentially Targaryen features if he was a secret card.
I think it's pretty clear that he is not highborn in the story, though I'm not entirely confident about that.
Yeah.
However, he was trained by a person called Fletcher Dick, who is said to have been the greatest archer to ever live.
Yes, and he put an arrow through the hand of the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard.
What?
So he was at least on par with the quality of knight.
I'm writing that shit down. That's crazy. That can't be coincidence.
Ulmer the Kingswood, put an arrow through he claims he put an arrow through the hand of Gerald Hightower so he could steal a kiss from a Dornish princess, presumably Elia Martell, the wiki says.
Ulmer claims he had Once put an arrow through
Through the hand of Gerald Hightower.
Gerald Hightower to steal a kiss from
Elia Martell. Yes.
from a Dornish princess. Open parentheses. Elia? Question mark. Close parentheses. This is weird.
This is weird. We're getting into the like weird backstory stuff of the main Song of Ice and Fire books, and there's so much weird stuff in there.
This is weird, dude. Why? What? Elia Martell is one of the most important political players. It's weird that this is referenced offhandedly.
Yeah, she like the impact her death has on the story is felt to the modern day. There's no scheming, plotting his revenge, Doran Martell, if Elia is alive and well. Hell, if Elia is alive and well, and they were able to cut some sort of in her kids, and they were able to cut some sort of deal with the Baratheons, Doran Martell might have come to the aid of, I don't know, Renly or Stannis during the War of the Five Kings. Like, if he had reasons to back them. But the second Elia Martell's head is crushed in, he has no, dog in that fight, basically. The second the Lannisters, the Baratheons, and the Starks are at each other's head is the second he says, good, I like it that way.
Yeah. I'm looking at the wiki page for Gerald Hightower. Around 280 or 281, Gerald was shot through the hand by Ulmer, an outlaw of the Kingswood Brotherhood, who went on to steal a kiss and some jewels from Princess Elia Martell of Dorne. In 281. What?
Yeah.
What?
The timeline's all really quite weird, right? Because for this to work, we know that
Myles Toyne here is until his death, the commander, the leader of the company, the general of the Golden Company, and he died 4 years before the part we're in the story. He died not that long before the beginning of the book, because it starts, I believe, into late 298.
Yeah.
It gets into 299 is in 300.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I remember Griff was saying that he had been gone for 12 years. Oh no. Oh, when did he die? I think they mentioned it in the chapter, but I don't know. I'll check.
Myles Toyne died in 296. So
He's been, oh my god.
2 years before Jon Arryn kills over. Myles Toyne is alive and in charge. He was probably still alive. If he wasn't in charge, he was at least alive and part of the Golden Company when the Kingswood Brotherhood was a problem in Westeros. There is another Toyne over there still in Westeros when Myles Toyne is an active political player in the leadership of the Golden Company.
Yeah. The biggest, the most significant threat to Targaryen rule since the last Blackfyre rebellion only 15, 20 years before.
Yes.
The biggest threat happens to feature the cousin of the leader of the Golden Company now. Are we suggesting that the Kingswood Brotherhood is all Blackfyres?
I don't know, but now there's it wouldn't be shocking, right? If we don't know if he was the leadership, but it would be weird if I don't know, there was a band of criminals and one of them was, related to a prominent political player in that was, actively plotting coups against the same country, right? You would think that's related. If somebody declared that they, if a Bonaparte was hanging out in a different country saying, I will take back France someday, and then not a Bonaparte, but I don't know, that Bonaparte's right-hand man, one of his lieutenants, happened to be related to a criminal who is causing problems with a street gang in Paris or something, you would think, this street gang's in on this Bonapartist group.
Yes,
100%.
Yeah, you would have you would make the connection that even if they don't know, like, even if they're not involved, they know what's going on, right? If Myles Toyne and Simon Toyne have to talk.
Or
They're both
at the very
twins.
least, they're aware of each other.
Yeah.
Right? Unless one of them just took the last name Toyne for no good reason, but like then that's interesting as well. And then there is one other thing we know about Myles Toyne that I haven't brought up yet.
Yeah.
Myles Toyne is one of the 3 members of the Golden Company who sits down to dinner with Viserys and a very young Dany to hear Viserys' claim and plans to take back Westeros, and they spend the entire dinner laughing at how stupid his plans are.
What? What?
Yes.
So that
He's in the room with Black and Harry Strickland when the beggar king comes in and begs them.
What? Dude, this is weird. Yes. I was not even fully aware that the Golden Company was aware of... Like, I didn't even know that the Golden Company was aware of Dany's existence. Wait a minute. Hold on. So, Viserys and Dany and Varys?
I don't know, Varys.
Who else is there?
It is 3 members of the Golden Company.
Sure.
I have this wonderful piece of fan art that's on the wiki that I'm sure it's mentioned on the Harry Strickland page. Let's see, Harry Strickland.
Huh. What, and also what? Also, I'm looking at I think if there is a significant player, it has to be the Smiling Knight, right?
Yes.
If there is a key to understanding that, not if, but if the Kingswood Brotherhood is connected to the Blackfyres, the way of determining that has to be behind the Smiling Knight, because he is the most significant member of the Kingswood Brotherhood in Jaime's story.
It's from Dany 3 and Dance. Viserys feasted the captains of the Golden Company in hopes it might take up his cause and restore him to the throne of Westeros. They ate his food and heard his pleas, but only laughed at him. And timing-wise, that would likely be, we don't know for sure, but the fan art I see depicts it as being the leadership that they would have had under the Toynes.
Right.
And timeline-wise, that works out. It's not necessarily confirmed that that's the case. I can pull up Dany 3 and Dance of Dragons if we need to.
You're telling me that in either direction, within 3 or 4 chapters of a Jon Con chapter, you're telling me that Dany describes a dinner that she had with the Golden Company that almost certainly included Myles Toyne, Harry Strickland, and John Connington.
I don't know if John Connington was there, but Black is depicted as being there, and he's also quite important. But yeah,
you ready for a take?
Go for it.
What if in the Winds of Winter, there is a marriage proposal by Young Griff made to Dany, and Dany sees Jon Con and is like, "Oh, hey, you're that guy who fucking laughed at me."
Even if Jon Con's not the one, she just needs to see Harry Strickland.
Could be Harry Strickland, right? Harry Strickland was not master of coins, but whatever the equivalent is.
He's the paymaster.
Yeah.
And if you're going to hear somebody's offer of money and riches and what you would get from winning that war, you got to have the man who crunches the numbers there.
Yeah.
I've worked in many teams and groups over the years, and whenever there was something that could financially benefit us, we had our treasurer present.
Yep.
Because that's the person who knows the money. Everybody else just assumes the treasurer is correct about that. And I presume the Golden Company is the same way. Because nobody likes doing all the money stuff.
Zach, not to hop to another topic, but I got a fun quote here. You want it?
Go for
it. And me, that boy I was, when did he die, I wonder? When I donned the white cloak, when I opened Ares' throat, that boy had wanted to be Sir Arthur Dane, but someplace along the way, he had become the Smiling Knight instead.
Ooh, curious. Huh.
Are there any other significant Kingslayers in the story? He had become the Smiling Knight. Is there a death of a king that we can pin during the time of the Smiling Knight's life, presuming he's less than 50?
Smiling Knight.
Back to 233. Something like after 260?
Because the Smiling Knight, we believe, died along with... in their second exchange, Smiling Knight was slain by a sword of the morning. So that's the only other member of the Kingswood Brotherhood we know is dead for sure. We know Simon Toyne is dead, and we know the Smiling Knight is dead.
Smiling Knight was a madman, cruelty and chivalry all jumbled up together. He did not know the meaning of fear.
That's kind of a brilliant take that the Smiling Knight was a Blackfyre, right?
Yeah.
Or had Targaryen ancestry or something.
Dude, what you have found here, this here, the connection between between the Toynes and the Blackfyres, and this one.
Yes. And there's two Toynes alive at the same time. Yes.
These have me looking for connections.
Yeah.
The Smiling Knight. So Myles Toyne was
Myles Toyne is leading a company that views a company of mercenaries that views the current leadership of Westeros as illegitimate. That's their founding documents. It's basically like Targaryen sucks, Blackfyres rule. And then you have a criminal organization that messes with royals, like, categorically. That's just something they do. Like, Simon Toyne shows up as a mystery knight at a tournament just to unhorse and beat some royals. Ulmer shoots an arrow through Gerald Hightower's hand. They brand Merritt Frey. Like, they are messing with the royalty of Westeros categorically in a very Robin Hood-esque way, which means they could just be like some small folk who don't respect the royalty, but they could not respect the royalty because they view it as illegitimate for other reasons too. Notably, Simon Toyne would want to respect royalty. That's where his blood comes from. If he believes he legitimately has a claim to Toyne lands, he, to some extent, has respect for the feudal system of government.
And like this one, that tourney, the tourney where Ulmer puts an arrow through the hand of Gerald Hightower, that if there are royals involved in the Kingswood Brotherhood, that would be consistent, right? Like mysterious people with eyes on the Regency rocking up into tournaments suddenly is something that's happened more than once.
Yes.
Huh. I don't know. Jon Conn, Myles Toyne, Black Belloc, they all showed when they came to ask for help from the Golden Company?
We don't know who showed, or at the very least, I don't know who showed. There might be more details.
It couldn't have been John. It couldn't have been John Con, because John Con would have wanted to help them.
Yeah. It has to be whoever was in charge at that time, and those are the three candidates who make the most sense.
And it can't be a rewrite, because this is in the same book that John Con is introduced.
Yes.
There's a lot of moving parts to this.
I don't have much more time, so I think we might need to leave it there and leave it as an exercise for the comment section to figure out. But it's very curious how, like, persistently how Toyne has been causing trouble for, like, the leadership of Westeros, and how, like, close to the pulse the Golden Company seems to be of Westerosi politics. Like, I wish I had a quote here for, like, but we've seen other parts where they, like, grossly misunderstand what actually went down in King's Landing and other parts of the world. I'm sure you can think of examples, Tom.
Say that again. I'm sorry. I was trying to,
like, of how
I was anagramming Myles Toyne.
That's there are plenty of examples in the story of places in Essos grossly misunderstanding events of Westeros, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's weird that if I guess you'd think if anybody was going to get it right, it would be the people who are exiled from Westeros. But, like, one, we don't know that's categorically true. It could just be that random, like, sellswords are taking up extinct names of houses as, like, a vanity thing. But it's weird. Like, Tywin Lannister, has this reputation among the nobles of Westeros and not many other places. And people in the Westerlands probably don't view him this way. And Myles Toyne knows exactly how he would have handled the situation in a way that I think we would agree that's how Tywin would have handled it.
Yeah, he is correct.
This could be just John Con projecting his knowledge there, but
it could also be the case that Tywin Lannister's reputation just precedes him.
It could be, but it's weird that came out clear when so many other things did not.
Yes, it's weird that they know the battlefield temperament of Tywin Lannister, but not that the streets of Casterly Rock aren't literally made of gold.
Yeah, and I don't think we hear about Joffrey's death and all that in the other parts of the world that they are like good riddance, asshole, which is what most people in Westeros would have been like, because they didn't know about his, like, behavior by and large.
Huh.
Yes. Curious that they don't know the temperament of a king, but they do know the temperament of a general.
And it's weird that there are Toynes in significant places surrounding the Targaryen dynasty.
Yes.
Simon Toyne is the leader of the Kingswood Brotherhood. Presumably Simon Toyne's cousin, Myles Toyne, was at the same time the leader of the Golden Company.
Yes.
That's very strange.
Yes.
And it implies a connection between Simon Toyne and Myles Toyne that could be funding.
Even if there isn't one, it's weird there isn't a connection, right? Or it's weird that those two people came to it separately. That'd be like if I was a Bonapartist and my brother just happened to go around and like mess with friends of Emmanuel Macron for the hell of it.
Yeah, it would be weird. It would be weird if your cousin just did that, especially if you were the last two people with that last name on planet Earth.
Yes, correct. I think that's unfortunately where we're gonna have to leave it, though.
We can leave it on Myles Toyne and Simon Toyne are the same person.
But there's some sort of connection between Myles and Simon Toyne, and if there isn't, that's more interesting.
Agreed. All right, Zach, say goodbye.
Bye.